In the heart of South Africa, a legend was born. The year was 1918. The place, the village of 𝒉𝒍 in the Transkei. This was the birthplace of Nelson Mandela. He came into the world within the Madiba clan. They were part of the Thembu people who held a proud and ancient lineage. Mandela's roots ran deep into the soil of South Africa. His family held a place within the Thembu royal family. This heritage instilled in him a strong sense of responsibility. It also gave him a deep connection to his people. But his destiny lay beyond the traditional paths of royalty. His life would become a testament to the power of courage and compassion. Mandela's path would be one of struggle and sacrifice. He would fight for equality and justice, and in the process, he would inspire the world. This is the story of his extraordinary journey. Mandela's early years were spent in the small village of 𝒄𝙗𝒻, nestled in the heart of the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. This village, with its serene and picturesque landscape, was more than just a home. It was a place where the essence of rural African life was deeply ingrained in every aspect of daily living. It was a place of rolling green hills and a close-knit community. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, their lives intertwined with the land and the seasons. The lush, undulating hills provided a stunning backdrop to the simple yet profound existence of the people who called 𝒄𝙗𝒻 home. Here, amidst the beauty of the Transkei, young Nelson, or Rolihlahla as he was called in Xhosa, experienced a childhood steeped in traditional values. The customs and practices of his ancestors were not just taught but lived, forming the bedrock of his early education and shaping his worldview. Life in 𝒄𝙗𝒻 was simple. The villagers led a life that was free from the complexities of modernity, yet rich in cultural heritage and communal bonds. The traditional huts, known as rondavuls, dotted the landscape, each one a testament to the enduring architectural practices of the Xhosa people. Days were filled with the rhythms of village life. Mandela tended cattle, a common task for young boys in the village. This responsibility taught him the values of hard work, patience, and the importance of caring for the community's resources. He played with other children, engaging in traditional games that had been passed down through generations. These games were not just a source of entertainment, but also a means of learning important life skills and building camaraderie among the youth. He learned the stories and traditions of his ancestors. The elders of the village were the keepers of history, and their tales, often told around a fire, were filled with lessons of bravery, resilience, and the struggles of their people. The rolling hills and the clear streams were his playground. These natural features were not just part of the scenery, but integral to the daily lives of the villagers, providing water, food, and a place for recreation. This idyllic setting nurtured a deep love for his homeland. The beauty and tranquility of 𝒄𝙗𝒻 instilled in Mandela a profound appreciation for the land and its people, a sentiment that would stay with him throughout his life. It also instilled in him a profound respect for the natural world. The interconnectedness of life in 𝒄𝙗𝒻, where every element of nature played a crucial role, taught him the importance of environmental stewardship and the need to live in harmony with the earth. But 𝒄𝙗𝒻 also held within it the echoes of a troubled past. The history of the village was marked by the struggles and hardships faced by the Xhosa people, particularly under colonial rule and the subsequent apartheid regime. Stories of his ancestors' struggles against oppression were whispered around fires. These narratives of resistance and resilience were a crucial part of Mandela's upbringing, shaping his understanding of justice and injustice. These tales ignited a spark in young Mandela's heart. They planted the seeds of a lifelong commitment to fight for freedom and equality, a mission that would define his legacy. He began to understand the injustices faced by his people. The stories of past struggles made him acutely aware of the social and political challenges that lay ahead, and he felt a growing desire to make a difference. This desire, born in the rolling hills of 𝒄𝙗𝒻, would eventually lead him to become one of the most iconic figures in the fight against apartheid and for human rights worldwide. Mandela's world expanded when he was 9 years old. Up until that point, his life had been relatively simple and filled with the joys and challenges of rural life in 𝒄𝙗𝒻. He spent his days herding cattle, playing with other boys, and listening to the stories of his elders. But everything changed when his father, 𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉, a local chief, passed away. This event marked a significant turning point in his life, thrusting him into a new world of responsibilities and opportunities. His father, 𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉, a local chief, passed away. 𝒂𝒊 was a man of strong principles and a respected leader in the community. His death left a void not only in Mandela's life, but also in the lives of those who looked up to him. Mandela's mother, Nelson Mandela, was left to care for her children in a society where the loss of a male head of the family could mean significant hardship. This event marked a turning point in his life. The funeral was a somber affair, filled with the rituals and traditions of the Thembu people. It was during this time that Mandela began to understand the weight of his heritage and the expectations placed upon him. The loss of his father was not just a personal tragedy, but a communal one, and it set the stage for the next chapter of his life. He was placed under the guardianship of Chief 𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉 Dalindyebo. 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉 was a wise and influential leader known for his fairness and dedication to his people. He took Mandela into his home, the great place in 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒚, where Mandela would be exposed to a new world of politics, leadership and education. 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉 was the regent of the Thembu people. He was responsible for guiding the community through times of change and ensuring that the traditions and values of the Thembu were upheld. Under his guardianship, Mandela was introduced to the complexities of leadership and the importance of serving one's people with integrity and wisdom. He recognized the potential in young Nelson and took him under his wing. 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒕𝒉 saw in Mandela a bright and eager mind, ready to learn and grow. He provided Mandela with opportunities that he might not have had otherwise, including access to education and the chance to observe and participate in the governance of the Thembu people. Mandela left the familiar surroundings of Kunu for the chief's great place in 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒐𝒏𝒚. This move was both exciting and daunting for the young boy. He was leaving behind the only home he had ever known, but he was also stepping into a world filled with new possibilities and experiences. Here he was exposed to a new world of politics and traditional leadership. He attended council meetings where important decisions were made, and he listened to the debates and discussions that shaped the future of the Thembu people. These experiences were invaluable in shaping his understanding of leadership and governance. He attended the local missionary school, where he excelled in his studies. Education became a cornerstone of his life, opening doors to new ideas and perspectives. The missionary school provided a formal education, but it also introduced Mandela to the broader world beyond his rural upbringing. He also participated in traditional ceremonies and rituals. These events were a vital part of his cultural education, grounding him in the customs and beliefs of his people. They taught him the importance of community, tradition, and the continuity of cultural practices. He listened intently to the elders' stories of bravery, wisdom, and resistance. These stories were more than just entertainment. They were lessons in history, morality, and the values that would guide him throughout his life. The tales of past leaders and their struggles against oppression resonated deeply with him. The seeds of Mandela's future activism were sown during these formative years. The combination of his formal education, the traditional teachings, and the stories of resistance and bravery all contributed to his developing sense of justice and his desire to fight for the rights of his people. He learned about the history of his people. This knowledge was crucial in shaping his identity and his understanding of his place in the world. It gave him a sense of pride in his heritage and a determination to preserve and protect it. He heard tales of great leaders who had fought against colonialism. These stories of resistance and resilience inspired him and gave him role models to look up to. They showed him that it was possible to stand up against oppression and fight for freedom. The stories resonated deeply with him. They were not just tales of the past, but lessons for the future. They taught him the importance of courage, determination, and the willingness to sacrifice for a greater cause. They ignited within him a sense of purpose. He began to see himself as part of a larger struggle for justice and equality. This sense of purpose would drive him throughout his life, guiding his actions and decisions. He too would fight for the freedom of his people. This commitment to his people's freedom became the defining mission of his life, shaping his path and his legacy. The lessons he learned during these early years in 𝒄𝙗 and 𝒂𝒂💧💧 would stay with him forever, guiding him as he became one of the most iconic leaders in the fight against apartheid. Section 4. A Thirst for Knowledge, Clarkbury and Beyond. At the age of 16, Mandela's thirst for knowledge led him to Clarkbury Boarding Institute. This was a significant step in his journey, marking the beginning of his formal education away from home. The institute was known for its rigorous academic standards and its commitment to producing well-rounded individuals. It was a prestigious Methodist mission school, nestled in the rural Eastern Cape. The school had a reputation for excellence and was one of the few institutions that provided quality education to black students during that era. The serene environment of the school was conducive to learning and personal growth. He excelled in his studies, particularly in English and history. These subjects opened up new worlds for him, allowing him to explore different cultures, ideas, and philosophies. His teachers recognized his potential and encouraged him to pursue his academic interest with vigor. He discovered a passion for learning. The library became his sanctuary, a place where he could immerse himself in books and expand his knowledge. He read voraciously, delving into literature, history, and political science. This passion for learning was not just about academic success. It was about understanding the world and his place in it. This passion would stay with him throughout his life. It fueled his curiosity and his desire to make a difference. He understood that education was not just a means to an end, but a lifelong journey of discovery and growth. At Clarkbury, Mandela encountered students from diverse backgrounds. This was a new experience for him, as he had grown up in a relatively homogeneous community. Interacting with students from different cultures and regions broadened his horizons and taught him the value of diversity and inclusion. This exposure broadened his horizons. He began to see the world through different lenses and understood the importance of empathy and understanding. These interactions helped shape his worldview and his approach to leadership. He began to question the social injustices he saw around him. The stark contrast between the opportunities available to white and black students was glaring. He became acutely aware of the systemic inequalities that plagued South African society. He realized that education was a powerful tool for change. It was through education that he could challenge the status quo and advocate for a more just and equitable society. He believed that an informed and educated populace was essential for the progress of any nation. He dedicated himself to his studies. Late nights and early mornings became routine as he pored over his books. His determination and work ethic were unmatched, and he was driven by a deep-seated belief that knowledge was the key to empowerment. He believed that knowledge would empower him to make a difference in the world. This belief became the cornerstone of his philosophy and guided his actions throughout his life. He saw education as a means to uplift not just himself, but his entire community. Mandela's time at Clarkbury was a period of intellectual and personal growth. It was here that he began to form his identity and his vision for the future. The tranquil surroundings of the campus provided the perfect backdrop for reflection and self-discovery. He embraced the values of discipline, hard work, and perseverance. These values were instilled in him by his teachers and mentors, and they became integral to his character. He understood that success was not just about talent, but about dedication and resilience. He formed close friendships that would last a lifetime. These friendships provided him with support and camaraderie, and they played a crucial role in his development. His friends were his confidants, his allies, and his inspiration. And he began to develop his own voice. He started to articulate his thoughts and ideas, and he gained confidence in his ability to lead and inspire others. His speeches and debates at school were the first steps in his journey as a leader. It was a voice that would one day shake the foundations of apartheid. His time at Clarkbury was just the beginning, but it laid the groundwork for his future as a revolutionary leader and a champion of justice and equality. Section 5. The Halls of Healdtown. Mandela's pursuit of knowledge continued at Healdtown, a prestigious high school in the Eastern Cape. Healdtown was a rigorous institution. It challenged its students to excel academically and to develop their critical thinking skills. Mandela thrived in this environment. At Hildtown, Mandela's interest in politics blossomed. He participated in debates. He read voraciously about current events. He was particularly drawn to the ideas of African nationalism and self-determination that were sweeping across the continent. He began to question the legitimacy of colonial rule. He dreamt of a free and independent South Africa. Hildtown was also where Mandela discovered his athletic prowess. He excelled in boxing and long-distance running. These sports taught him discipline, perseverance, and the importance of strategy. These qualities would serve him well in the years to come. As he trained his body, he was also strengthening his mind and spirit. He was preparing himself for the long and arduous struggle ahead. The air in Johannesburg crackled with a tension you could taste. It was a city of dreams and despair. Hope fought against the suffocating grip of segregation. In the heart of this city, a young Nelson Mandela was finding his path. Fresh from the Eastern Cape, he arrived with a thirst for knowledge and a burning desire for justice. He enrolled at the University of Witwatersrand. The halls of learning became his training ground. Law was his weapon of choice. Mandela wasn't just reading law, he was absorbing it. He was dissecting it, analyzing it, and understanding its power. He saw how the law could be used as a tool for oppression, but he also saw its potential to dismantle the very system that sought to subjugate his people. The law was a double-edged sword, and he was determined to wield it for good. Beyond his studies, Mandela's life was a whirlwind of activity. He was working as a law clerk, gaining practical experience. He was witnessing firsthand the injustices faced by black South Africans. Every case he worked on fueled his growing anger. It solidified his resolve to fight for equality. The year was 1943. The world was engulfed in war, fighting against tyranny across continents. In South Africa, a different kind of battle raged. The insidious system of segregation was tightening its grip. It was in this year that Nelson Mandela, now a young lawyer, formally joined the African National Congress. He had found his purpose. The ANC at that time was a predominantly passive organization. It relied heavily on petitions and appeals to the conscience of the white minority government. Mandela, however, saw the need for a more assertive approach. The youth, he believed, held the key to change. Their energy, their idealism, and their unwavering belief in equality were crucial to the fight ahead. Joining the ANC was not a mere political affiliation for Mandela. It was a calling. He immersed himself in the organization's activities. He attended rallies and meetings. He listened intently to the stories of hardship and discrimination faced by his people. The year 1944 marked a turning point in the struggle against apartheid. It was the year the ANC Youth League was born. Nelson Mandela, alongside Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and other young lions, took the reins of this dynamic force. They were tired of empty promises and incremental change. The time for action was now. The Youth League injected a much-needed sense of urgency into the ANC. They advocated for a more radical approach, moving away from the passive resistance that had characterized the organization's past. Their strategy focused on mass mobilization, civil disobedience, and strikes. They were ready to challenge the very foundations of apartheid. Mandela's natural leadership qualities shone brightly during these formative years. He was a gifted orator, his words igniting a fire in the hearts of his listeners. He spoke of self-respect, of dignity, and of the fundamental rights of all South Africans, regardless of the color of their skin. His message resonated deeply with the oppressed masses. The Youth League, under Mandela's guidance, breathed new life into the struggle for equality. 1948. A year etched in infamy in the annals of South African history. The National Party, fueled by a hateful ideology of racial superiority, ascended to power. Apartheid, the Afrikaans word for separateness, became the law of the land. What was once a creeping shadow of segregation morphed into a monstrous reality. The new laws were as brutal as they were comprehensive. They sought to divide every aspect of life along racial lines. Black South Africans were stripped of their citizenship, their land, and their basic human rights. They were relegated to second-class status in their own country. The very fabric of society was being torn apart. The rise of apartheid had a profound impact on Nelson Mandela and the ANC. The non-violent resistance they had advocated now faced a formidable foe. The government's response to any form of dissent was swift and brutal. The stakes were higher than ever before. Despite the ever-present threat of violence and imprisonment, Mandela and his comrades refused to be silenced. Section 5. Defiance in the face of injustice, the 1952 campaign. The year 1952 marked a turning point in the fight against apartheid. The ANC and South African Indian Congress launched the Defiance Campaign. This campaign of civil disobedience challenged unjust apartheid laws. Nelson Mandela played a pivotal role mobilizing the masses. He traveled tirelessly, urging defiance of unjust laws. Thousands heeded the call, refusing to carry passbooks. They defied curfews, filling jails. The government responded with brutality. Mandela was arrested, a testament to his commitment. Section 6. Love and family. Amidst the struggle, Evelyn and the children. Even as apartheid raged, Nelson Mandela found solace in family. In 1944, he married Evelyn Mace, a nurse committed to justice. Their home in Soweto became a sanctuary from the turmoil. Mandela cherished his role as a husband and father. He instilled in his children values of equality and education. The fight for a just South Africa was for future generations. Life, however, was far from idyllic. The threat of arrest and apartheid cast a pall over their lives. Evelyn bore these challenges with remarkable resilience. Their love was tempered by the harsh realities of the struggle. It was a love tested by separation and fear. Section 7. The fight for dignity, challenging the pass laws. The pass laws were the most hated symbol of apartheid. These insidious documents controlled every aspect of black South Africans' lives, dictating where they could live, work, and even travel. To be caught without a passbook meant arrest, imprisonment, or worse. Challenging these laws was at the heart of the struggle for freedom. In 1956, the government announced plans to extend the pass laws to women. This was a step too far. The Federation of South African Women, with Lillian Ngoyi at the helm, organized a mass demonstration in Pretoria. On August 9th, 20,000 women, many of whom had left their babies strapped to their backs, marched on the Union Buildings, the seat of government power. The Women's March was a powerful symbol of resistance. It showed the world the lengths to which the apartheid regime would go to control and subjugate black South Africans. It also highlighted the courage and determination of the women who dared to challenge this oppressive system. Nelson Mandela, though restricted by banning orders that limited his movements and activities, watched the events unfold with pride. Section 8. Sharpeville's Cry, a turning point. March 21st, 1960. A date forever seared into the conscience of South Africa. In the township of Sharpeville, a peaceful protest against the hated pass laws turned into a bloodbath. Unarmed men, women and children, their only weapons, their voices and their unwavering spirit were gunned down by police. 69 souls were lost that day, their lives cut short in a hail of bullets. The Sharpeville massacre, as it came to be known, sent shockwaves across the world. It shattered the illusion of a peaceful solution to the apartheid crisis. The world watched in horror as images of the carnage of lifeless bodies strewn across the dusty ground filled their television screens. The Sharpeville massacre was a turning point. For Nelson Mandela and the ANC, Sharpeville was a bitter confirmation of their long-held fears. The apartheid regime would not relinquish its power willingly. It would use any means necessary, no matter how brutal, to maintain its grip on power. The time for dialogue was over. The only language the regime understood was the language of force. Section 9. The struggle continues, banned but not broken. The banning of the ANC in 1960 did not break the spirit of the resistance. Instead, it forced the organization to adapt and evolve. Nelson Mandela, along with his comrades, went underground, operating in secrecy, their movements restricted, their lives in constant danger. They formed 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒚𝒂𝒃 𝒂𝐴𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 targeting symbols of apartheid oppression, power lines, government buildings and military installations. Their actions were a desperate cry for attention, a way to make the world see the true face of the apartheid regime. Mandela, despite the constant threat of arrest, continued to lead the struggle from the shadows. He traveled across Africa and Europe, garnering support for the anti-apartheid movement. He spoke at rallies and conferences, his words carrying the weight of a man who had witnessed firsthand the brutality of the regime. Even though his voice was silenced within South Africa, it echoed around the world. The struggle for freedom had entered a new, more dangerous phase. Nelson Mandela was a man of peace. He believed in dialogue. From his early days, Mandela was committed to finding a peaceful resolution to the injustices faced by his people. He envisioned a South Africa where all races could coexist harmoniously, and he tirelessly advocated for this vision. He had faith in the power of negotiation. Mandela spent countless hours at the negotiation table, engaging with leaders from various factions, always hoping that reason and mutual respect would prevail. His dedication to peaceful dialogue was unwavering, even in the face of immense challenges. But the racist apartheid government of South Africa only responded with violence. The regime's brutal tactics were designed to crush any form of dissent, and they showed no mercy. Peaceful protests were met with tear gas, batons and bullets, leaving many injured or dead. They met peaceful protest with brutality. The images of peaceful protesters being attacked by heavily armed police became a stark reminder of the regime's cruelty. The government's relentless oppression left the people with few options. They left Mandela and his fellow activists with no choice. Faced with the harsh reality that peaceful means were not enough, Mandela and his comrades had to reconsider their approach. The African National Congress, ANC, had to adapt to the changing circumstances. In 1961, Mandela helped found 𝒂𝒊𝒊𝒆, the armed wing of the African National Congress. This marked a significant shift in the struggle against apartheid. 𝒂𝒊𝒊𝒆, meaning Spear of the Nation, was established to carry out acts of sabotage against government infrastructure. This was a turning point. Mandela's decision to embrace armed resistance was not taken lightly. It was a strategic move born out of necessity, aimed at forcing the government to the negotiating table by making the cost of maintaining apartheid too high. Mandela knew that armed struggle was a last resort. He understood the gravity of this decision and the potential consequences. Yet he also recognized that without a significant shift in tactics, the dream of a free and equal South Africa would remain elusive. Yet he also knew that freedom often came at a great cost. The path to liberation was fraught with danger and uncertainty. Mandela and his comrades were prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice if it meant securing a better future for their people. Mandela and his comrades in MK targeted symbols of apartheid infrastructure. Their operations were meticulously planned to maximize impact while minimizing harm to civilians. They aimed to disrupt the regime's ability to govern effectively. They attacked power plants and military installations. These acts of sabotage were designed to weaken the government's control and demonstrate the resolve of the resistance movement. They aimed to disrupt the regime without harming civilians. Mandela and his comrades were acutely aware of the moral implications of their actions. They took great care to avoid civilian casualties, focusing their efforts on strategic targets. It was a dangerous path. The members of 𝒂𝒊𝒊𝒆 operated under constant threat of arrest, torture, and death. Their commitment to the cause was unwavering, even in the face of overwhelming odds. But for Mandela, it was a necessary one. He believed that the struggle for freedom and justice was worth any sacrifice. His leadership and determination inspired countless others to join the fight, ultimately leading to the dismantling of the apartheid regime and the birth of a new South Africa. In 1963, Mandela and several other ANC leaders were arrested. They were held at a farm in Rivonia near Johannesburg. The world watched as they were charged with sabotage and other crimes. The Rivonia trial became a global news event. Mandela used the trial as a platform. He spoke eloquently about the injustices of apartheid. He defended the right to resist oppression. His words resonated around the world. Despite a powerful defense, Mandela and his co-defendants were found guilty. They were sentenced to life in prison. Many expected Mandela to be hanged. The sentence was harsh, but it spared his life. It also ignited a global movement for his release. Mandela was sent to the notorious Robben Island prison. This was a place of harsh conditions and brutal treatment. The guards were cruel. The work was backbreaking. The cells were small and cold, yet Mandela's spirit never wavered. He endured the hardships with dignity and resilience. He remained a leader even behind bars. Mandela understood the power of education. He encouraged his fellow prisoners to learn. He organized political discussions. He helped create a sense of community and purpose within the prison walls. Despite the harsh conditions, Mandela was determined to learn. He completed a law degree through a correspondence course from the University of London. He read voraciously, devouring books on history, politics, and philosophy. Mandela believed that education was the key to liberation. He saw it as a weapon against oppression. He used his time in prison to empower himself and his fellow inmates with knowledge. Mandela's pursuit of education was an act of defiance. It was a way of resisting the dehumanizing effects of prison life. It showed the world that his spirit could not be broken. Section 5. A global movement. The world unites for Mandela's freedom. As Mandela endured his long imprisonment, a global movement for his release gained momentum. His plight resonated with people across continents, transcending borders and cultures. The call for his freedom became a universal cry for justice and equality. People from all walks of life rallied to his cause. Students, workers, and ordinary citizens joined hands in solidarity. They marched in the streets, held vigils, and organized events to keep the spotlight on Mandela's unjust imprisonment. Anti-apartheid activists organized protests, boycotts, and sanctions against the South African government. These actions were not just symbolic, they had real economic and political impacts, pressuring the regime to reconsider its stance. Musicians, artists, and athletes used their platforms to raise awareness. Concerts were held, songs were written, and public figures spoke out, ensuring that Mandela's name remained in the public consciousness. Politicians and world leaders condemned apartheid and called for Mandela's freedom. Their voices added significant weight to the movement, highlighting the global consensus against racial injustice. The world was waking up to the injustice of racial segregation in South Africa. Media coverage played a crucial role in spreading awareness, showing the harsh realities of apartheid to a global audience. Mandela's imprisonment became a symbol of the struggle against apartheid. His image was used in protests and campaigns, representing the fight for freedom and human dignity. He was a powerful reminder of the human cost of this racist system. Emotional speeches at rallies often highlighted his sacrifices and the broader implications of his struggle for all oppressed people. The world recognized him as a man of peace, a leader and an icon of freedom. His legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the enduring power of resilience and the universal quest for justice. Section 6. The Free Nelson Mandela Campaign, a beacon of hope. The Free Nelson Mandela campaign became a global phenomenon. It united people across continents and cultures. It gave hope to those struggling for justice and equality around the world. The campaign kept Mandela's story alive. It ensured that the world never forgot about him or the millions of South Africans suffering under apartheid. The campaign also put pressure on the South African government. It made them an international pariah. It hurt their economy and damaged their reputation. The world was watching and the pressure was mounting. Section 7. Transfer to 𝒃𝒂𝒅𝒂, a glimmer of change. In 1988, after more than 20 years on Robben Island, Mandela was transferred to 𝒃𝒂𝒅𝒂 prison. This was a significant moment. It was a sign that the apartheid regime was feeling the pressure. The conditions at 𝒃𝒂𝒅𝒂 were much better. Mandela had more freedom. He was allowed more visits. He could even walk in the garden. This transfer was a glimmer of hope. It suggested that change might be possible. The world watched closely, wondering what it might mean for Mandela's future. Section 8. Secret talks, paving the path to freedom. While Mandela was at 𝒃𝒂𝒅𝒂, secret talks began between the ANC and the South African government. The world was unaware of these delicate negotiations. They were taking place behind closed doors. Mandela played a key role in these talks. He understood that a negotiated settlement was the best way to end apartheid and prevent further bloodshed. The talks were long and difficult, but both sides knew that the status quo was unsustainable. The world was watching and the time for change had come. Section 9. Legacy of Hope. Mandela's enduring impact. Nelson Mandela's journey from prisoner to president is an inspiration to us all. His life story is a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope. Mandela's unwavering commitment to justice and equality transformed not only South Africa, but also the world. His release from prison after 27 years marked a pivotal moment in history, symbolizing the triumph of resilience over oppression. He never gave up on his dream of a free and democratic South Africa. Despite the numerous challenges and obstacles he faced, Mandela remained steadfast in his vision. His tireless efforts to campaign for democracy and his ability to inspire millions were instrumental in dismantling the apartheid regime. Mandela's leadership and dedication to the cause of freedom and equality were unwavering, even in the face of immense adversity. He endured unimaginable hardships with grace and dignity. During his time in prison, Mandela faced harsh conditions and isolation, yet he never lost his sense of purpose. His resilience and inner strength became a beacon of hope for those who believed in the fight for justice. Mandela's ability to maintain his dignity and humanity in the face of such adversity is a testament to his extraordinary character. He taught the world about forgiveness, reconciliation, and the power of hope. Mandela's approach to healing a divided nation was revolutionary. Through the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, he emphasized the importance of confronting the past while building a future based on mutual understanding and respect. His ability to forgive those who had wronged him and his call for national unity set a powerful example for the world. Mandela's legacy continues to inspire people around the world. His life's work has left an indelible mark on history, and his teachings continue to resonate with new generations. Statues and memorials in his honor serve as reminders of his enduring impact and the values he stood for. Mandela's vision of a just and equitable society remains a guiding light for those who strive for a better world. He showed us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can triumph. Mandela's journey is a powerful reminder that hope and perseverance can overcome even the most formidable challenges. His ability to inspire and mobilize people from all walks of life was a testament to his extraordinary leadership and vision. Mandela's story is a beacon of hope for those who face seemingly insurmountable obstacles. He reminded us that we all have a role to play in building a more just and equitable world. Mandela's legacy is a call to action for each of us to contribute to the betterment of society. His belief in the power of collective action and the importance of community engagement continues to inspire individuals and organizations worldwide. Mandela's life serves as a powerful reminder that change is possible when we work together towards a common goal. Mandela's life is a testament to the power of courage, resilience, and unwavering belief in the possibility of a better future. His journey from a small village in South Africa to the global stage is a story of determination and hope. Mandela's ability to overcome adversity and his relentless pursuit of justice have left an enduring legacy that continues to inspire people around the world. His life's work reminds us that we all have the power to make a difference. His story reminds us that even the seemingly impossible can be achieved with determination, hope, and a commitment to justice for all. Mandela's journey from prisoner to president is a powerful example of what can be accomplished when we believe in the possibility of a better future. His legacy is a testament to the enduring power of hope, resilience, and the human spirit. Mandela's life continues to inspire and guide us as we strive to create a more just and equitable world for all. The year was 1990, a year that would be etched in the annals of history forever. The world was on the cusp of monumental change, and South Africa was at the heart of it. The world held its breath. People from all corners of the globe were glued to their television screens, radios, and newspapers, waiting for the news that would change the course of history. After 27 years of unjust imprisonment, Nelson Mandela walked free. His steps, though measured, were filled with the weight of a nation's hopes and dreams. His release on February 11th wasn't just the opening of a prison gate, it was the opening of a new era for South Africa. The air was electric with anticipation and joy. Millions watched, their hearts filled with hope, as Mandela, hand in hand with his wife Winnie, greeted the crowds. The cheers were deafening, a collective roar of triumph and relief. His first public speech, delivered in Cape Town, resonated with the power of his years of struggle and the promise of a brighter future. It was a speech that would be remembered for generations. Mandela spoke of forgiveness, of unity, of a democratic South Africa where all citizens would be equal. His words were not just a vision, they were a call to action. His words, strong and steady, echoed across the nation, carrying with them the dreams of a people yearning for peace and justice. They were words that transcended borders and touched hearts worldwide. Mandela's release was a turning point in history. It was a moment that signaled the dawn of a new era, not just for South Africa, but for the entire world. It signaled the beginning of the end of apartheid, a brutal system of racial segregation that had gripped South Africa for decades. The walls of oppression were beginning to crumble. His unwavering commitment to justice, his courage in the face of adversity, and his belief in the power of dialogue inspired millions around the world. Mandela's journey was a testament to the strength of the human spirit. This was not just a victory for South Africa, it was a victory for humanity. The world celebrated, recognizing the significance of this monumental event. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of one man who dared to challenge injustice and lead his nation towards a brighter future. Mandela's vision was clear, and his resolve was unshakable. Mandela's journey from prisoner to president is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can triumph. His legacy continues to inspire, reminding us that the fight for justice and equality is never in vain. The road to dismantling apartheid was long and arduous. It was a journey marked by immense struggle, sacrifice, and resilience. For decades, the oppressive system of apartheid had divided South Africa, creating a society steeped in racial segregation and inequality. Yet Mandela, understanding the deep divisions within South African society, chose the path of dialogue and negotiation. He recognized that the only way to achieve lasting peace was through open communication and mutual understanding. Mandela's approach was not just about ending apartheid, it was about building a foundation for a united future. He believed that true freedom could only be achieved through peaceful means, through reconciliation and forgiveness. Mandela's vision extended beyond the immediate dismantling of apartheid. He envisioned a South Africa where all races could coexist harmoniously, where the wounds of the past could be healed through collective effort. Mandela engaged in talks with the government, with white South Africans, with those who had been his oppressors for so many years. These discussions were not easy. They were fraught with tension and mistrust. However, Mandela's unwavering commitment to dialogue and his ability to empathize with his former adversaries played a crucial role in breaking down barriers. He listened, he understood, and he sought common ground. Mandela's leadership was characterized by his remarkable ability to listen to the concerns of all South Africans, regardless of their background. He knew that to build a new nation, it was essential to include the voices of those who had been marginalized and oppressed. He knew that building a new South Africa required healing the wounds of the past. Mandela's emphasis on reconciliation was not just a political strategy, it was a deeply personal conviction. He understood that forgiveness was a powerful tool for healing and that it was necessary for the country to move forward. His commitment to non-violence, even after decades of imprisonment, was remarkable. Mandela's time in prison had only strengthened his resolve to pursue peace. He emerged from his 27-year incarceration with a spirit unbroken, ready to lead his people towards a brighter future. He urged his supporters to reject bitterness and embrace the spirit of forgiveness. Mandela's message was clear: the cycle of hatred and retribution had to end. He called on his followers to rise above their pain and anger, to look towards a future where unity and harmony could prevail. It was this unwavering commitment to peace that allowed South Africa to transition away from apartheid without descending into a bloodbath. Mandela's leadership during this critical period was instrumental in preventing widespread violence. His ability to inspire hope and foster trust among South Africans was a testament to his extraordinary character. Mandela's leadership during this period was crucial. His vision, his dedication, and his ability to bring people together were key factors in the peaceful transition. He was not just a political leader, he was a moral compass for the nation. He remained a symbol of hope, a beacon of unity in a country deeply divided along racial lines. Mandela's presence was a constant reminder that a better future was possible. His legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the power of forgiveness and the importance of standing up for justice. His ability to bring people together, to bridge the divides of the past, paved the way for a new democratic South Africa. Mandela's journey from prisoner to president is a testament to the power of resilience, dialogue, and unwavering commitment to justice. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of immense adversity, change is possible through peaceful means. The year 1994 marked a historic moment for South Africa. For the first time, all South Africans, regardless of race, were allowed to vote in a free and fair election. The long lines at polling stations across the country were a testament to the people's desire for change, for a more just and equitable society. The African National Congress, with Mandela at its helm, won a landslide victory. It was a moment of immense joy and celebration. Mandela, the former prisoner, became the first democratically elected president of South Africa. His presidency was marked by a spirit of reconciliation and nation-building. He worked tirelessly to heal the divisions of the past and build a united South Africa. He understood that true democracy required more than just the right to vote. It required addressing the deep-rooted inequalities that apartheid had created. Mandela knew that building a new nation required confronting the atrocities of the past. He understood that the scars left by decades of apartheid could not simply be ignored or forgotten. The pain and suffering endured by millions of South Africans needed to be acknowledged and addressed in a meaningful way. In 1995, he established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, or TRC. This commission was tasked with uncovering the truth about human rights violations that occurred during the apartheid era. It was a monumental step towards healing a nation divided by racial injustice and violence. The TRC was a bold and unprecedented experiment in restorative justice, offering amnesty to perpetrators of apartheid-era crimes in exchange for full disclosure. This approach was revolutionary, as it focused on reconciliation rather than retribution. It aimed to create a platform where the truth could be told, and where both victims and perpetrators could find a path to healing. The TRC hearings, broadcast across the country, were a painful but necessary step in South Africa's healing process. These broadcasts allowed the entire nation to witness the testimonies, fostering a collective understanding of the atrocities that had taken place. It was a moment of national reckoning where the truth was laid bare for all to see. Victims shared their stories of suffering while perpetrators confessed their crimes. This process was not just about uncovering the truth, but also about providing a space for healing. For many victims, it was the first time their voices were heard and their pain acknowledged. For perpetrators, it was an opportunity to seek forgiveness and make amends. It was a raw and emotional process, but it allowed for acknowledgement, forgiveness, and ultimately reconciliation. The TRC's work was instrumental in helping South Africans come to terms with their past and begin the difficult journey towards healing and unity. Mandela's commitment to forgiveness did not mean forgetting the past. He believed that true reconciliation required an honest confrontation with history. By acknowledging the pain and suffering caused by apartheid, South Africans could begin to build a future based on mutual respect and understanding. He believed that only by confronting the truth could South Africa move forward. This belief was at the heart of the TRC's mission. It was about creating a foundation for a new South Africa, one where justice and equality could prevail. The TRC, though not without its critics, played a vital role in healing the wounds of the past and building a more just and equitable society. Its legacy is a testament to the power of truth and reconciliation in overcoming even the deepest divisions. As president, Mandela worked tirelessly to address the legacy of apartheid. He implemented policies to combat poverty, improve access to education and healthcare, and promote economic development. He understood that true freedom required not only political rights but also social and economic justice. Mandela emphasized the importance of education, believing it to be the key to unlocking South Africa's potential. He launched initiatives to improve the quality of education for all children, regardless of race or background. He also recognized the importance of healthcare, particularly in combating the HIV/AIDS epidemic that was ravaging the country. His focus on unity extended beyond racial reconciliation. He promoted a sense of shared national identity, encouraging South Africans to see themselves as one people united by their common humanity. He used the platform of sport, particularly rugby, to foster national pride and bring people together. In 1999, Nelson Mandela stepped down as the President of South Africa. He had led his country out of the darkness of apartheid. He had shown the world the power of forgiveness. Now he was ready for a new chapter in his life. Mandela was not a man to rest on his laurels. He was determined to use his influence for good. He knew there was still much work to be done. Poverty, inequality, and disease continued to plague South Africa and the world. Mandela understood that his journey was far from over. He was ready to embrace the next stage. He would continue to fight for justice, equality, and peace. His spirit remained unbroken, his determination unwavering. Mandela established the Nelson Mandela Foundation in 1999. This was his way of continuing to serve the people. The foundation focuses on tackling critical social issues. It works tirelessly to improve education, healthcare, and human rights. The foundation embodies Mandela's vision of a just and equitable world. It runs various programs aimed at uplifting communities. These programs provide essential resources and support to those in need. Education initiatives empower future generations. Healthcare projects provide access to vital medical services. Mandela believed in the power of education and healthcare. He knew these were fundamental pillars for a thriving society. He worked tirelessly to ensure these rights for all. Mandela recognized the devastating impact of HIV/AIDS. He saw it as more than just a health crisis. He saw it as a societal issue that needed urgent attention. He knew he had to use his voice to break the silence and stigma surrounding the disease. He launched high-profile campaigns to raise awareness. He challenged the discrimination faced by those living with HIV/AIDS. He spoke openly about the issue, encouraging others to do the same. He knew that education and compassion were key to fighting the epidemic. Mandela's efforts helped to destigmatize the disease. He showed the world that compassion and understanding were crucial. He inspired others to join the fight against HIV/AIDS. His courage in addressing this sensitive issue head-on saved countless lives. Nelson Mandela transcended the boundaries of race and nation. He became a global icon, a symbol of peace and reconciliation. His message of forgiveness resonated with people worldwide. He showed the world that even in the face of immense suffering, forgiveness was possible. He traveled the world spreading his message of peace. He met with world leaders advocating for human rights. He inspired millions with his unwavering belief in the power of dialogue and understanding. He showed that reconciliation was not about forgetting the past, but about learning from it and building a better future. Mandela's legacy is one of hope and inspiration. He showed the world that even in the darkest of times, light can prevail. His message of peace and forgiveness continues to resonate today, reminding us that we all have the power to make a difference. In 2013, the world mourned the loss of Nelson Mandela. His passing marked the end of an era. He left behind a legacy of hope, courage, and forgiveness. His spirit continues to inspire millions around the world. Tributes poured in from all corners of the globe. People from all walks of life celebrated his life and his achievements. They remembered him as a man who fought for justice and equality. They honored his unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. Though he is physically gone, his spirit lives on. his legacy continues to inspire us to fight for a better world. His message of peace and forgiveness remains as relevant today as it ever was. Section 6. Mandela's children carrying the torch forward. Mandela often referred to all South Africans as his children. He believed in the power of youth to shape a better future. He called on young people to embrace education, reject prejudice, and strive for a more just and equitable world. Today, countless individuals and organizations continue his work. They are carrying the torch of his legacy, striving to create the kind of world he envisioned. They are working to combat poverty, promote education, and advocate for social justice. These individuals, these children of Mandela, are a testament to his enduring impact. They are proof that his message of hope and equality continues to resonate with younger generations. They are the future leaders who will continue his fight for a better tomorrow. Section 7. Ubuntu, a universal language of humanity. Central to Mandela's philosophy was the concept of Ubuntu, a profound and deeply rooted African philosophy. This Nguni Bantu term encompasses the values of compassion, empathy, and interconnectedness, emphasizing the importance of community and mutual support. It speaks to the belief that our humanity is bound up in the humanity of others, suggesting that we are all part of a greater whole. Mandela believed that Ubuntu was the key to building a more just and compassionate world, where everyone is treated with kindness and respect. He saw it as a universal language, one that transcended cultural and linguistic barriers, uniting people from all walks of life. It was a philosophy that called on each of us to recognize our shared humanity and to treat one another with dignity and respect, fostering a sense of global unity. The spirit of Ubuntu continues to inspire people around the world, encouraging acts of kindness and solidarity. It reminds us that we are all connected and that our actions have a ripple effect on the lives of others, highlighting the importance of collective responsibility. It calls on us to embrace our shared humanity and to work together to create a world where everyone feels valued and respected, ensuring a brighter future for all. Section 8. Justice and Equality, the unfinished struggle. Mandela understood that the fight for justice and equality was a marathon, not a sprint. He dedicated his life to this cause, knowing that true change requires time, patience, and relentless effort. He knew that even after the dismantling of apartheid, many challenges remained. The scars of the past were deep, and healing would take generations. He saw the persistence of poverty, inequality, and discrimination as stark reminders of the work that still needed to be done. These issues were not just remnants of the past, but ongoing struggles that required immediate attention. He challenged us to never become complacent in the face of injustice. Complacency, he believed, was the enemy of progress. He urged us to be vigilant in protecting the rights of all people regardless of race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation. This vigilance was not just a duty, but a moral imperative. He reminded us that the pursuit of a just and equitable society demands constant effort and unwavering commitment. It is a journey that requires the participation of every individual. Mandela's legacy serves as a reminder that the struggle for justice is far from over. His life and work continue to inspire new generations to take up the mantle. It calls on each of us to examine our own biases, to challenge systems of oppression, and to actively work towards a world where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive. This is the unfinished struggle that Mandela left for us to continue. Section 9. Live the Legacy, a Call to Action. Nelson Mandela's life was a testament to the power of one person to make a difference. His unwavering commitment to justice and equality inspired millions around the globe. He showed us that even in the face of adversity, we can choose courage over fear, forgiveness over hatred, and hope over despair. His journey from prisoner to president is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. He challenged each of us to live up to our full potential as human beings. Mandela believed in the power of education, the importance of community, and the necessity of standing up for what is right. We honor his legacy not simply by remembering his words, but by living his values. His teachings guide us to be better individuals and to contribute positively to society. we can embrace his spirit of Ubuntu by practicing compassion and understanding in our daily lives. Ubuntu, meaning I am because we are, encourages us to see our shared humanity. We can continue his fight for justice by speaking out against inequality and discrimination in all its forms. It is our duty to ensure that every voice is heard and every person is treated with dignity. Let us honor Nelson Mandela's memory by making a conscious effort to be kinder, more compassionate, and more just in our interactions with the world around us. Every small act of kindness contributes to a larger movement of change. Let us strive to be peacemakers in our own communities and beyond. By fostering peace and understanding, we can build bridges and break down barriers. Let us work tirelessly to create a world that reflects the values he embodied. Through collaboration and dedication, we can make significant strides towards a more just and equitable society. This is how we keep his legacy alive. By remembering his sacrifices and continuing his mission, we ensure that his spirit lives on. This is how we ensure that his dream of a just and equitable world becomes a reality. Together we can make a difference and build a future that honors his vision.